it will be interesting to see how many people pile in.
Hello. This is Ryan and Brad, and this is the Cougar Afterthought Show from GoCoogs.com. How are you? Star Pizza. We're going to get started a little different than we have in the recent past. Brad, make sure we get this on all our sites. And we're gonna have a lot of conversations about a lot of different things that happened tonight. We're gonna talk about all of it: the good, the bad, the what the fuck just happened. You know,
That was pretty much the entire night. The entire night was, what the fuck am I watching?
the runs, everything about this game was rogue. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna do a 30-second countdown, and then a little bit of a different intro. Let's do that right now.
And you make a good point, Ryan.
That's crazy.
Thank you.
Waffle House.
Rock, chalk.
It's games like this where we got the rock chalk fuck y'all. Hey, anybody want to talk about lack of Q1 wins now?
No, you're probably going to have one now. I'm guessing. I'm pretty drunk. First off, this place right here did not disappoint once again. This is our second trip here. It's been fantastic. Tonight, these fans were great. They were a little on edge. They felt a little edgy. But, I mean, you had 2 6-point leads in the final minute of regulation in the first overtime. I don't know how they did it. I just got light. I don't know how U of H managed to do that. The Emmanuel play where he slides and still creates a turnover on the ground. How does that happen? I can't explain a lot of this. Let's take a step back and talk about our good friends at Star Pizza. Star Pizza is always there for you. Yesterday, Brad Towns and I went to Star Pizza, and who was sitting there but Joseph Duarte, GoCoogs intern. And so we had the buffet together. Joseph Duarte, Brad Towns, and myself. It was fantastic. Each of them had about 9 pizzas, and I had like a piece and a half. So it was fine. They had a specialty dessert pizza, which I didn't really understand. They had walnuts on it. But
And apples.
it had apples. Oh, I didn't see that. That pizza looked as drunk as this game was. I don't know where to start. Brad, where are you going first?
Well, I mean, I already had. I'll be honest, man. I had my whole bitch fest planned on free throws, and then, guys, I got to tell you, man, my frustration is the reason why we won, because we were down 6 in the second OT, or at the end of the first OT. 20 some odd seconds or so left. I just said, fuck it. I turned off the TV, started getting ready for this show. And then I've got the stat cast up and I looked up and it's like, okay, well, we hit at least we made it look prettier at the end. We didn't lose by 12. Then I looked up again and it said the score was tied. So I immediately turned on the TV to see if my eyes were deceiving me, and holy shit, they came back and won it. And then it was insane. It was this was a night where our team played like the best version of itself and the worst version of itself, and they did that multiple times. I've never seen such greatness and such terribleness all in one game multiple times.
If you were like drunk and on cocaine, you probably had a more calm, reasonable night than U of H fans going through what they went through tonight. I thought the 8 missed free throws at the beginning of the second half, U of H went on a 17-2 run with 5 missed free throws in that run. 17-2. And I don't even know how you come back from missing 8. Or LJ missed 2 on one trip, which I don't remember him ever doing. And then when it gets down to nut cutting time, Jawan becomes the best free throw shooter in the country. I don't know. All of you have your comments starred because they're all pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Let's start with this one. What's it like in Fog Island right now? It's quiet. There's very few people here. That's my cable. So I'm pretty far up. Basically the second to last row in the building. And I had some annoying kids behind me just cheering and clapping in my damn ear all night. But I don't have to deal with that anymore.
You're on the top row, aren't you?
Well, there's one row behind me, as you can see.
I thought media is not allowed to cheer.
Well, that's accurate. They're not, but they did, and it was. So here's what it was. All right, I'm gonna give you some lowdown. There's 4 rows of media seats, right, and the row above me was not necessarily media seats. Here's who was sitting there. So it was the Dairy Queen folks that were cheering.
Oh man!
And I'm sure they're pretty great.
Well, it was good that you didn't say anything because if Dairy Queen wanted to have a little talk, we could
have a talk. Cardiac Cougs at its finest. It's the big one. I'm coming for you, Elizabeth. Not sure what that means.
What? Fred Sanford.
Wow, I never saw that.
Oh,
what a win.
Goodness.
This team is resilient. Kelvin Sampson's first win in Allen Fieldhouse. I don't remember hearing that, but maybe it sounds true. Before tonight, Kansas was 25-4 against top 10 teams in this building under Bill Self. That's incredible. But now they're 25-5. Get in here. Let's fucking go. I'm going streaking. Malik Wilson was a beast tonight. You can try to hold those North Louisiana boys down, but it ain't going to work. Malik Wilson has been playing great basketball. He has gained confidence. His shot has gotten a lot better. And I asked Kelvin about him the other day, and he just said he's the most athletic kid we've had here in a while. And I don't know. Is this the best basketball victory ever at U of H? compared to the 82 semis, that was the 83 semis. I think everybody that's been a fan for a long time would say it's in the Final Four. So obviously that has to mean more. But as far as regular season goes, it would be
Really, it's
difficult to say that
it's
there's.
a really,
I don't
really,
remember
really
one.
good win.
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything away from this, but let's not
Well,
get.
let's put it in perspective. You won some really clutch games last year. You haven't done that this year until tonight. And I think it's the craziest, best win you've had since you started in the Big 12. A&M in overtime in the tournament last year. I mean, that's a pretty big win. But this one, you've got to put this one pretty high up on your list. It doesn't have to be the biggest. Louisiana boys kept us in it. Malik Wilson, unbelievable game. My heart hurts.
We've been talking since, I don't know, I guess about 2 or 3 weeks now about Malik, and we've said that you can see him coming around and really start to put things together. But
thank you for saying around.
Yeah, I had to stop that real quick. But you could see him getting better. But even before that, we talked that Malik is going to do something to win us some big games. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I mean, it happened. We saw him come through last year when we really needed him, and tonight he's the only reason we're in that ball game.
Yeah,
I mean, he was. Was it? Let's see. What was the text that you sent me that you felt like you were crazy, saying you wanted to see Malik in there again?
Yeah. And then Emmanuel hits a three and gets a steal, hits another three. There are so many plays that you can call the biggest of the game, but the most surprising to me is Doug Sermons making that 5-second call right at the end of regulation. You do not see that in that situation in a building like this
Ever.
Benefiting the road team. Ever.
Well, you
And
definitely
he did it, and it was a
I don't
right
think you've
call.
I don't think you've ever seen that or any close call like that ever in Fog Allen, no matter the scenario.
Now, a lot of people on our sites were griping early in the game because of the refereeing. I thought the refereeing was pretty good all night. I think it's fair. Coming into a building like this, you're not going to get the calls, but you got a pretty good call tonight. I don't think you can complain about it at all. But Sermons made a huge call there. The call that he made on the other end against Jawan, he claimed that he hooked him, but I mean, it didn't look like he did anything.
Not at all.
But that was right in front of the Kansas bench, and that's just going to happen sometimes. Malik and Jawan, I should have never doubted you. I am telling you, Jawan Roberts hitting, I think 4 free throws there at the end. I mean, that's as big as anything you've had. You don't expect him to be the guy that steps up and hit a few, but he did.
And everybody gather around. I'm gonna shit all over Kansas right here.
Wait. Let me. I'm gonna, so we can have video, and put this out.
This tells you the difference of two teams. At the end of the first overtime, they were shooting at 17 seconds on the clock. They were shooting free throws. They miss them, and we're down 6. We go down, and we ended up tying and pushing it to the next overtime. Tonight,
that you didn't see.
Yeah, that I didn't see. Yeah. Tonight, the end of the game, Kansas made a layup with 17 seconds, and they fucking quit. They brought it to 6 and then quit.
They really did.
I was shocked. Up. They couldn't foul, and then once they couldn't foul, once we got it across the midcourt, they just stopped. it's still real early, but it looks like that torch is being passed. Well, it's not being
Explain.
passed. I think we just ripped it from their rotting carcass.
They are down in the standings right now.
I mean, you remember
team-
the quit job that they did last year at our place?
Well, they had done that for a few weeks before, but the Fertitta game was embarrassing for their whole program. Embarrassing. I don't know how you won this game.
Me either.
It doesn't make any sense.
At one point, I texted you in overtime. It's like, there's no reason we should be even in this
All right,
game. We've
shut
got to
up.
steal it.
Fuck, I told y'all. Rock chalk.
Galen,
What? Good to see
Okay,
you.
now you're good.
Can y'all hear me?
go ahead.
I said, what the fuck I told y'all. Rock chalk, fuck y'all. Road Warriors, you feel me? That's how you handle business, man. Shit. Woo-hoo-hoo. Lovely. Lovely. What I miss, man? What I miss?
Did you get to watch a lot of the game or any of the game?
I watched the second overtime, and our game had ended, and it was the end of the first overtime. We were down 6. I'm like, damn. How am I going to explain this one? Then I keep reading. And then after our coach gives his speech, I refresh the page. It's 79-79. I said, well, what the fuck happened? Malik Wilson sends it in the double. Oh, wow. Things just got interesting.
But
That was crazy. I knew once the second overtime. Yeah, it was second. Yeah, it was us. It was ours to win for sure.
you owe it to yourself to go back and watch the first half, watch this game from the beginning, and watch Malik. He was otherworldly. I mean, I can't tell you how good he was tonight. He was. I mean, he is everything that you thought he could be, and then some.
That's why.
I mean, he looked like a guy that we will count on.
Yeah. That's why you never cheat the work, man. You never know. All of our guys that get the night it's gonna be, and let alone in what environment. Shit, is you at Kansas. That's probably the best basketball atmosphere in college, and probably has been for a very long time. So it's like to have that type. Just looking at the stat sheet, it's like, damn, brother, 18 and 23 minutes. That's like Jordan Clarkson or something. Like he was getting to it.
To your
crazy.
point, there was a point late in regulation, a timeout. I think U of H called it. This place got so loud, my head started ringing. It just, and I had never experienced that in any arena ever. Like the seats are wooden and they're vibrating, and everything in this building is vibrating. My head's vibrating, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is awesome! This is so much fun!" And here's one for you. Wilson should be Big 12 Player of the Week, and here's why he shouldn't be. U of H has not won that all year, and they're 8-0. They need to keep that streak alive. You don't need to be winning no damn awards.
Yeah,
going to West Virginia.
No hype. Just keep that chip on their shoulder.
Keep doing your job, man. Just keep being you. That's it, man. That's such like I didn't watch the game, but it's just like the amount of toughness and grit it takes to win in that environment when you can't even like. I forget who we were playing. I think it was SMU, but I remember Coach Sampson yelling in my face, and I couldn't hear shit he was saying. I was okay. Had no idea. Like it's those environments where you can't even hear you can't even think your own thoughts, man. That's crazy to have that type of performance in that type of environment. That's wow. That is impressive.
This is one of the most impressive numbers you'll see. Only 5 turnovers in 50 minutes, I think is the stat. You turned it over on the very first possession of the game. And then you had, I think, maybe 2 more in regulation. Woo-hoo-hoo. I mean, that is something. Hopenheimer says it's the sleeves. So I got a text from Mike Pittman Thursday. I'm sitting in the practice facility talking to Alan Bishop. And Mike is like, what's Malik gonna do in the Houston Blue game? what undershirt's he gonna wear? I'm like, what the fuck? What do I give a shit? And he's like, oh, you need to ask. You need to ask because there's a rule that your undershirt has to be the same color as the jersey you're wearing, especially if the other team's wearing white. Well, if they're wearing Houston blue, they're probably going to be wearing white or black. But so I asked, and he's looking for a Houston blue, and Hoop and Holler are the people at Star Pizza. So we let their dumb comments on whenever they happen. Yeah,
Shout out, Bruce.
almost.
Water.
Yeah, don't sleep on Malik. Officiating, this is, Galen, you may not believe this. Officiating was surprisingly fair. It was 100% fair. The
It had to
guys are
be.
walking
That's the rule.
across 100%. I'm gonna show y'all. Whoops. Calvin's walking across the court now. He's talking to CJ from the Athletic. Just getting a little enjoyment. I believe this is his first win here, is what we're told.
I don't know. That's it's hard to see because that's gone full Zapruder.
Yeah, they have basically turned off the internet in here. It's been terrible all night. So sorry about that, y'all. The sound is okay?
Oh yeah, it sounds good.
Okay.
You know,
well,
I'm sitting here looking at
that's something.
I'm looking at that second half box. And how the fuck do you win a close game, shooting 4-13 from the line?
Yeah, and your four were all late. You did not. I mean, you were 0 of 8 at one point, which is
Well, and yeah, it was we were 2 of 11 until we hit the final 2 free throws.
yeah. I think Jawan hit 2. They missed one, and then he hit 2 again.
Maybe they should.
I mean, that's just.
I don't think they do, Galen. I've been
Los
told.
has a triple double. This is a big nuts type of game. 9 rebounds, 9 assists, no turnovers. Yes.
And
He is that good.
J1, he was having a rough night until all of a sudden he put on the Superman costume and just went ham at the end of the second half and through overtime. I mean, he was a beast. He couldn't buy a bucket early.
Yeah, but whenever you've seen it all, done it all, man, it ain't too much that can kind of get you out of your comfort zone. Like J1 he's the type of guy. I don't even know if he scored 20 points in non-conference, but he rises to the level of the competition, and he also rises to the moment. That's the guy that you ain't gonna have to worry about if the lights are on, if he's gonna show up. He will be there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter says the sharp sliding steal is a ninja move.
I was like, how wasn't he out of bounds?
I think he was kind of well inbounds, actually. Those final 17 seconds were almost as crazy as red. Okay. People are having fun. Good for them. Jawan's hook is becoming almost unguardable, like Kareem Skyhook.
All right.
I'm with you.
I've known this since I was young. That jump hook is the best.
I love
shot in basketball.
I love J1.
Are you trying to say that Kareem is better than him?
100 times out of 10.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Liar.
I just remember my grandpa told me, he was like, this was Coach Sam too. He was like, they had to change the rules for him.
It did.
Anyway, on with the comments, man. I'm so glad that hold on. Starnes, chill, bro.
What did Starnes do?
Malik Wilson might be Jalen Brunson. Oh, That is crazy. Didn't they shoot terribly from the free throw line too?
They were not good. They missed 10 or 11, I think.
They were definitely choking it in overtime.
Yeah, they went 17 of 30.
We shot dinner the same percentage for the game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They were 1 of 5 to start the game. And people were gasping in here. Nice to see Malik come up so clutch after hearing Coach Q raving about him during Sunday night's interview. That's a pretty good interview. I'm not promising anything, but maybe expect to see Malik on the show tomorrow night. Maybe. Houston versus
Absolutely.
some people. Everybody. What are the best wins in recent memory?
That one, for sure.
That one is, I mean, if you're talking the last Kelvin years, Kelvin has always said that there's a win versus UConn. I think it was a February 1st win, 2015. So it'd be 10 years next weekend. Was his favorite win ever. I bet this replaces that.
For sure.
I bet. I think the LSU win that y'all had, the second game at Fertitta, y'all played Oregon in the opener to open the arena, and then you played LSU in that second game, I think, where there were like 50 fouls called. That was a pretty good win. The Oregon game, you came back, I think. I'm trying to think of really big. A&M last year in overtime in the tournament has to be there.
At Texas,
At Texas in overtime, at Oklahoma on that last second shot, in Baylor in overtime. I mean, there's some pretty good
There's some great dubs.
But Brad, go ahead and say what you want to say about this team versus last year's team.
This team is better in every aspect. Every respect, it's better, top to bottom, offensively, defensively. This is a better team.
Right. I'm gonna have to. Let's not let recency bias get the best of us.
I told Ryan.
I think it's true.
I told Ryan that I was going to say this. If we finally got a win, I'm going to say it. But it's true. Statistically,
Galen,
every way you want to count it, this is a better team
he's
right
popping his cherry. Let him have his time. But I actually think it's true. I think Jamal Shedd covered up a lot of deficiencies. And I mean, we're talking deficiencies that won the Big 12. Okay.
So that means that they weren't deficiencies.
Maybe. But I think this team is more well-rounded.
More complete. Yeah. I get that.
And I think if you know,
for sure,
you got to finish the season, you got to stay healthy. You have to not show up at the conference tournament. Don't even fucking go. And I think this team gets in the second weekend, probably should get to San Antonio with the talent and the depth. And
well, I mean, when you get to the tournament, anything can happen.
You never know. You never know.
Really,
100%.
It's truly
matchups
a
and.
But what makes this team so dangerous in my mind is that we can bomb you from 30. We could beat you out running if we need to. We don't get to do it much, but this team can play up tempo. And this team can play inside out. And they're a threat from mid range, they're a threat from long, and they're a threat from short. And at any point, there are 5 or 6 guys that can step up and carry you on a night when, like tonight doesn't happen without Malik. And Malik today wasn't that last year. He's not going to come pull you out of the fire like this.
Year. Yeah.
At this point last year.
You know, JoJo was pretty good offensively tonight. He didn't take a lot of shots. He was 4 for 4. Prior, not a great game. Emmanuel Sharp was 0 of 6 or 0 of 5 before he hits that one at the end of regulation, which, I mean, they were leaving him alone. He wasn't even involved in the offense. Kansas wasn't guarding it, and the shed buzzer beater at Memphis, Tremont Mark against Memphis. That's game. Tremont Mark had a winner tonight over Texas A&M. That's a shame. Gave up a 21-point lead. I always
Well,
liked
that was-
Tremont,
it was-
so good for him.
The best thing about that, as soon as I saw Mark get the ball, I knew the game was over. It's like,
Yeah, that's the game.
It's done.
Fabian White yelling at. We didn't have a lot of scoring options last year like we have this year. That's a huge, noticeable difference. Wow, I think this is the first Greg Probst comment we've had on the show this year. I think this team in March will be better than last year's team in March. I agree with that. I also don't think Jamal Shedd's going down in the third game. It's just my guess. But if you lose one of these guys in the Sweet 16, I think you have a better chance to move on with the rest of this roster. And
Well, I mean, tonight's a perfect example of that. In that, for all of regulation until one shot, Sharp was a no-show. I mean, he's hurt. He's not playing well. LJ's trying to pick up the slack, but he just can't get anything to fall.
right. Well,
And then
Kansas
we're
knew
shooting.
that was going to be the thing.
We're shooting record low on the free throw line. This game had no business being won. We should have lost by 12 or 13. I'm saying that is if we were in Kansas situation and we end up losing this, I would still be saying we should have won it by double figures. But
That's what I was going to say.
we had guys step up huge and make plays. JoJo is not lighting up the scoreboard, but it's those winning plays. It's those keeping the rebounds alive. It's tipping the ball back. It's just doing the little bitty things that all stack up higher and higher and higher. And like y'all were talking about the sliding steal from Emmanuel, is it even on a rough night he makes that play? I mean, that's worth its weight in gold. It means everything. And then you have the team defense of forcing 5 seconds and then getting a steal to keep you in the game, to give you a chance at the buzzer.
Did you see that, Galen?
What?
Right at the end of regulation, U of
No,
H
I didn't
makes
see
a
it.
bucket. They make a bucket. Kansas gets called for a 5-second violation in this building at the end of regulation. You never, ever see things like that. But Doug Sherman had the balls to make that call, which was the right call, because I think he was at 6 seconds by the point that he called it. And U of H makes a shot, and then Malik makes a shot. I mean, it's hard to figure out what to say about this. Early in the game, you had a lot of good open looks, and you were bricking everything. Early in the second half, you had a lot of good open looks at the free throw line, and you were bricking those. I think Malik, he came in and was a spark, especially early in that second half. He made back-to-back shots. Uzan then buried a three. And all of a sudden, you're down, what was it, 7 at half? 38-31, I think. And you erase that. You take a lead. Kansas goes on a run. U of H goes on a run. U of H goes on a run at the end of the game, at the end of overtime. I'm going to say that there are certainly legitimate thoughts about why is Emmanuel in there late in regulation and in overtime when it's clear that he just didn't have it.
Gravity.
Kelvin went with his starters. He went with his guys. Where are you saying gravity? What do you mean?
Like, at any given time, a guy like that, he's going to come through at some point. So it's like, it's not a.
Yes.
You said, yeah, so
Accurate.
it's not a why did he? Why, it's like, bro, there's one person that's at practice every day. You know, and you got a kid that's shooting damn near 50% from the 3-point line. Well, probably after the night, it'll probably drop to 40 something. But it's like that's the type of guy you're gonna roll with because you know he has that type of gene. He has that big shot making ability, and he's not afraid to take it. He's not afraid to get fouled because he's shooting damn near 99% from the free throw line. So it's like it's easy to kind of roll with that guy, and he's not a liability on defense. So, but like I said, it was. I don't know if whoever is watching now. When I said Coach Q, one thing he did with us is you had to shoot it. Each guy, all the guards, one after the other, make 10 in a row after practice threes.
Yep.
And it's just like you never know who's going to be in that moment. Every shot is a pressure shot, and you don't want to be the guy that missed. And it's just like that came to fruition today. I'm sure there were several times where Malik has done that drill, may have missed, may have not, like, you know, and it's just like he came through in the clutch today. You never know whose night is going to be. So that's why you know what I'm saying? That's why you put in the extra work.
Agreed. I'm going to take you off the screen there.
These comments are.
Stuff like the 5-second violation, then the shot being made in regulation were some of the things that fell our way in terms of straight luck. The 5-second violation is not straight luck. That's playing hellacious defense. And, I mean, you're making the shot, but, I mean, that's just what you do. It's basketball. I just think that do you need luck? Yes. But you've got to be good enough to take advantage of it. And, I mean, this is the top 10 program. It's not like they just lucked into winning at Allen Fieldhouse. TA started, but only played 14 minutes. And this is the reason they mentioned they fit him for a brace. So he had an issue. And I don't even think the ball was live. I think it was a dead ball. And he, like, twisted his knee or something. I thought it was a cramp originally. But they did fit him for a little bit of a brace. We'll have to see what that means because that guy has had straight up horrible luck. And they just gotta hope for the best on that one. Not to get into this right now, but this team has to turn around and get on a plane Tuesday to West Virginia, which is a tough freaking place to go to in a moment like this. That's something to watch. We said it would be, you would go with a 500 record on this little road trip. Obviously, now you're hoping for more. Pryor should have been benched. Malik I just don't. It's not just about the field goals. It's the defense. It's what you mean. It's no.
Yeah.
Even if LJ's missing, he's they're still, running defensive calls based on LJ Pryor.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like when Steph Curry is having an off night. It's like, well, we still ain't gonna leave him open. And it's just like, the same thing with LJ Grant. He struggled tonight and somebody else was able to step up. But let's not forget what we're accustomed to seeing because of one game. Like, let's not disregard reality. Because I guarantee you if LJ has it going next game, y'all ain't going to be saying, put Malik in.
It's not like LJ has dragged you down this year. He's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
not everybody has big games in every moment.
We've had we had nights like this with every one of our big gunners. I mean, Jamal had a couple of those last year where he just couldn't buy a shot. It's going to happen. But I think this is why I'm so high on this team is that the big numbers can come from anywhere. And it's not just the big numbers, it's the small plays too. But those are coming from all over the place. One night you got like Malik tonight. You had JoJo. I mean, we haven't really talked about the weird thing is we haven't really talked a whole lot about Milo's, but the dude had an unbelievable night. And the beautiful thing about his game is so unassuming that he can put up numbers, and he's just so buttery smooth on the floor that you don't notice how great he's doing. He doesn't have a lot of flash, but he takes care of the ball, and next thing you know, you look up and like tonight, he's 17, 9 and 9, right?
Repeat those numbers.
Was it 17, 9 and 9?
That's unbelievable for a point guard. I think he grew up tonight. Like, this is his coming out party, and he's not the conversation. He's not the headline. He's not in the first 2 paragraphs. But this was a huge game for him, and a huge game for this team.
He knocked down a massive 3 in overtime.
Yep.
But I mean, we have an abundance of riches on this team, and they're really coming together. And honestly, tonight doesn't happen if you don't have those overtime games against San Diego State and was it Alabama? Right?
Alabama, and the close one with Auburn. I mean, this team had to figure it out.
Well, I mean, we talked about this. Yeah, we talked about this on the post game after those overtime losses. Is that this team just has to learn how to win. They have to learn how to win together. Every one of them have won individually, and they've been on U of H teams that have won, but they haven't won together yet. And we've seen it building, and now is when it pays off.
And this team, you pulled out a game against UCF a week ago. It feels like a month ago, to be honest, but it was a week ago. It was last Saturday. And, that was a big moment for this team. Without that game, tonight doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And
like execution.
What you're doing is building. Winning on the road in this league is fucking hard. You saw West Virginia go to Kansas State today and get buried. Iowa State won at Arizona State, but they won the second half by like 25 points, and they were down most of the game, came back. You're undefeated on the road in this conference, and you won at Allen Fieldhouse. The last time you won here was the 1960s. And you haven't played a lot here, but
very little success.
It's okay. Everybody can have a nice time. Milos made the steal of the game that led to Malik's 3, and we only talk about Malik's 3. Okay, we'll talk about the steal. Phenomenal. Instinct. He had 1 steal tonight. It was that one. U of H only had 5 after having 19 against Utah. That's the difference in
Thanks,
playing.
Utah.
Yeah, a good team, a great team playing on the road and at home. It's okay to not look as good on the road as you have at home. Win the game. They won the game. They lead the conference. You're 40% of the way through the schedule. You'll be at the halfway mark next Saturday, I think. I don't know. I'm drunk. Well said, Towns. Really good way to describe winning together rather than winning individually. Look at that. Towns getting an attaboy. I thought Towns and his woman were here tonight because I saw Beware of the Hog, and I just assumed that was his woman.
Squeal.
But there's that P there. This is just kind of out of nowhere. So beware of his hog.
What did we say before last time? Hey, just don't let them shoot 68%. You got a chance to win.
Yeah, facts for sure.
This is a fun comment. It's weird to say that a team, quote unquote, running it back with all the same players except one feels very different. But this team
you can't
feels
say it's
different.
all. You can't say it's all because we didn't. At this point, Terrence was in a boot last year.
Yeah.
So it's like JoJo was probably playing with a broken foot. So it's just like but a year of experience. Yeah, but it's like a year under everybody's belt in terms of experience is invaluable. And it's just like they probably took, because Jamal got hurt, they probably in the offseason, I know for sure they took their development in terms of handling the ball, took that to another level because you never know what could happen in March. So it's like in a way that, Jamal getting hurt, granted, we didn't achieve what we thought that team could achieve, but it kind of helped the growth that our guys needed. It helped them excel in that way because it became an area of focus. Yeah, J1.
See, this is the reason why I love watching these teams going all the way back when Galen was here, is that you're going to get everything from every player out there, but the way that players develop when they're here, it makes it so much fun not to just follow them year to year, but watch them over the season and how they develop and how they grow, and then go away for the off season, get into the lab and, change their bodies, change their game. And then you see it so many times when guys get to that sophomore, junior year, is that all of a sudden their games take a huge jump. Like you're seeing like with Emmanuel this year. I wouldn't say that LJ has taken a big jump. He's just getting back to the strength of what he was as a sophomore at Baylor, but he had to be broken down to be rebuilt with that extra defensive module that he didn't have. He's a completely different player today than he was when he was at Baylor.
I personally think that LJ has gotten a lot better because he looks a lot more confident making decisions with the ball. Granted, he had a bad turnover late tonight, but just even in all the other games, he's hitting the pocket pass, he's holding, he's putting the guy in jail and keeping him behind him when he comes off the screen. So he looks a lot more crafty and comfortable making decisions when the ball is in his hands, as opposed to last year. It looked like he was ready to pass it to somebody whenever he had it, if it wasn't for an open shot. So yeah. So his game has definitely taken it seems like the game has slowed down for him, even though tonight he probably didn't have the night he wanted to have.
And you can see right now that tonight was a big example of J1 really stepping up as a leader. In the first half, things were starting to get kind of out of control. You can see him out there directing traffic, basically telling everybody, slow down. Let's relax a little bit. We're getting a little bit crazy. And then slow it down for a couple of possessions, and then fighting through, having a really rough night. I mean, it's easy. The game is easy when the bucket looks like, it looks like a huge hula hoop. Everything you throw up is falling in. That thing looks like a freaking tuna can whenever the shot's not falling. And so it's easy to just push and press and try to make things happen. But Juwan dealt with the pressure and the difficulty by slowing down. And you could see him do that same thing later in the game when he really started to put it together, because he was a lot smoother in everything he did instead of rushing and trying too hard. But yeah, I think it's a huge step for J1 and this team to kind of rally around his roughness.
And a game like this, as a player, it gives you confidence. J1, he's probably 6'7", he might play 6'10", but he probably goes against Sid and Big J Francis in practice. So it's like those guys are bigger than him. So it's like he's seasoned on how to kind of be savvy and kind of outsmart his opponent because he's undersized. You got to use whatever advantage you have. And his is his quick twitch, and he has a great feel for the game. So it's just like seeing him have these performances with teams who have bigs that are significantly bigger than him. I feel like he's probably better in those matchups because his advantage is his quickness and his kind of quick wit, whereas like if it was somebody that was his size, they probably be just as fast as him, and it'll kind of, neutralize all his strengths. But, J1, like I said, man, he's a tough kid, puts in the work, does everything the right way, and for beyond a reasonable fucking doubt he is gonna show up when them lights is bright. No question.
I want to get to this. Thinking about the fact that Malik was in the portal before last season, never saw him becoming who he was tonight, but he looked like Jamal tonight. Maybe easy on the last part, but this guy has transformed himself, and he made a decision. He put himself in the portal, and he made a decision that he wants to be here and win. He could have gone and started somewhere and played 25 to 30 minutes in another program that probably wasn't going to be that good, but he wanted to win. And he has put the work in on his shot, on his smarts, on being more of a passer, being a distributor. He's just a much better player than he was 6 months ago, a year ago, and especially almost 2 years ago when he went in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
17 straight Big 12 wins in the regular season. That is unfreaking believable. If you count the tournament, you're 19-1 in your last 20 Big 12 games. There's, I don't know what to say about that, but no one in this entire country thought U of H was going to come in and do what they've done in this conference. As good as it was last year, it's good this year, but I think it was better last year. Nobody thought that was going to happen. And then thanks everyone for making this show amazing. I'm heading out to celebrate H-Town Go Cougs. Okay.
Be safe, have fun, but thanks for joining.
Oh, can I make one more thing about Malik?
You can make as many as you want.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
This is the party tonight.
Yeah, but it's like he granted he could have left, but this is kind of like people who grad transfer after being somewhere for 4 years or however long, and it's like you're gonna go to a new system and have a few months to get familiar with it. So I feel like personally, it makes no sense to leave somewhere where you've built equity and you've grown, you've got familiar with the system, and go to another one. And also, it's like in terms of Malik, it's whenever you know your job and you know what's expected of you, if you're able to excel in that, then you'll gain the trust of coaches so you can stay on the floor. And by you staying on the floor, you're able to grow as a player, and you're kind of able to gain confidence in other areas because you're getting playing time. So it's like I feel like that's a great example of what's going on. Like Malik, he knows his job. He knows that every night isn't going to be like this one, but he knows for a fact that whenever he checks into the game, his job is to bring energy. And whatever follows that, as long as you bring energy, we're willing to live with.
I look at it in my mind. I tell myself kind of a poetic tale about that because it just sounds cool. My thought is he was going to walk away. But when he sat down and thought about it, kind of that little voice inside you said, you're not running away to find something better. You're running away to hide from the challenge.
Yeah.
And then his better self said, you know what, screw it. We're going to stay here and face this challenge. And then all of a sudden things started working a little bit more, and he put more time. He kept putting the time in. He kept putting the effort in, and he stuck with it. And then he came back again this year. And now it's all paying off. And he's playing with the confidence of a man who's faced his demons, who has now truly become what he has hoped he could be.
And also, it's like with Coach Q, Quantas White. Quantas is a Louisiana guy, and Malik is a Louisiana kid. So Q is gonna pour. He's gonna pour out everything he can into that kid in order for him to succeed. Whether it's everybody else is gone and Malik is still in the gym shooting, it's like Q is willing to believe me. He's willing to do that 100 times out of 100. He's like, I'm not about to let a kid that's from my backyard. I'm not about to let him fail because you know what I'm saying. So it's like he's gonna, yeah. But like I said, but you have to be a man. You have to be man enough to be willing to put in that extra work And to know that, you know what, I feel like Q invested a lot of time into what are we laughing at?
ESPN had on the screen 80-1 when leading in halftime, and U of H just put asterisk 80-2. Tweeted that out. That is not a U of H thing to do, and I applaud it. Good job. Go ahead, Galen. Talk more about the Louisiana boys.
Shit. We love the boot, man.
I'm sorry.
Gave us
We'd love the boot.
Great product.
I need to interrupt for a moment. Everybody, aisle 9, check it out. Danny Hurley lost again.
Damn.
I don't think that's a concern tonight. I'm going to be honest.
It makes everything better.
No,
I mean, it's like saying, you don't need seasoning on a steak. It's that lanyap.
Bad
Okay.
as fuck. They lost again. Rock chalk, fuck y'all, man. Y'all know the vibe.
Yeah.
We don't give
Most
a fuck.
of you.
We don't care who you are. We don't care who your mama is. We gonna put it on your ass. We don't care. We gonna come in. We gonna be the toughest team on the court, man. Every night. That's what we do. Y'all wouldn't even realize. Like tonight, my team lost. So it was like whenever we got to the locker room after the coaches left, it was silent. Once I refreshed the score and it was 7, I was like, fuck yeah! It was me like, gee, what? And I told him, I was like, all right, yeah, y'all at Kansas, we get it. It was like, we get it, brother. Go ahead and enjoy that. That's funny. Like, man, I was stupid, man.
Ryan, West Virginia has lost 2 straight to Arizona State and Kansas State. They will be at home.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough trip. You're coming off an emotional win. It's a tough spot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying West Virginia is going to win the game. I'm saying it's a tough road trip, a tough spot. And, it's
also
if you
think of
can't
it,
see the difference in a home game and an away game in this league and how crazy it is, how crazy that difference is.
right. Well, not only that, I mean, they're always a tough out at their place. And it sounds weird to say, but we're where all the national powers are. When we go to somebody's stadium, they're lining up and they're out for blood. I mean, no different. I mean, you remember way back when we had, top 10 Cincinnati come in, everybody gets all
Memphis.
Excited when we had
UConn.
Arizona top 10, Kentucky top 10. I mean, those are games where everybody comes and you're going to get the best of their crowd.
Sure. You're definitely going to see a different West Virginia team. And it's not even the fact that they lost on the road. It's like that was a ranked team. That locker room over there they have a lot of pride. They have a lot of good players. And they just watched us. I'm sure they've heard about it. We beat Kansas on the road. That team is going to be hyped as shit to play us. And it's going to be a completely different team than for those who watch them play today or whenever they play. It's going to be a completely different team. Like that team is going to come out with energy because they feel like we're their ticket to kind of get back to where they were.
There's going to be a lot of hype going into that game too.
That game is going to be sold out.
West Virginia?
I think there's going to be people are going to be looking at, the people who don't believe in Houston right now, and I know where they're coming from. I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
I understand it how. We just beat Kansas at Kansas.
What I'm saying, I understand where they're coming from. I don't agree with any of it, but, it is what it is. People don't like the fact that we dominate metrics.
Yes.
We need to win against
people off.
We need to win against whoever in November because November fucking matters to these idiots. Because we don't have as many quad 1 games. Okay, great. We have those at the entire conference schedule.
You know what's crazy? If this one quad, one game is worth more than a lot of teams. And it's just like, however you feel about the truth doesn't change the fact that it's true. We just went to Kansas and won. Like, what can you say? Like, what negative can you say about that?
I don't think anybody's saying anything negative about it, but
You know, I might have to
people
go,
are-
I'm about to go scrolling on Twitter and see if I can find some trolls. Just to see, like, you know, see what this guy.
Oh, they're not hard to find.
Oh yeah.
no.
They're
West
not going to be
Virginia
as
beat
loud
Kansas.
today, but they'll be out. They'll
First
be
thing
out
I
on
see-
Monday or
First
Tuesday.
thing I see is, fellas, we're built for this. Coach Sampson with the crown shades and the snake. That's crazy.
West Virginia
Now
came
Bill
here.
Self is overrated. Wow, Kansas is soft.
Bill Self is overrated. He is, national title. Yeah, whatever.
No, brother.
Yeah.
I think he's lost his fastball after his health issues.
Not
Yeah.
everybody's built for this era of college basketball.
That is true.
And he has brought in these high dollar transfers, but was he just looking for the best player or the best fit? Was he
Well-
looking just to spend money and that would fix his problems? I don't know.
And not only that, I mean, the biggest adjustment that these big schools are going to have is not just the fact that, that they get more money to spend. It's that, guess what? Everybody else does too. It's not just Arizona and Kansas and Duke who get Nike and Adidas money and, get all the sneaker pins funneling all the talent there. Everybody can do that now. So guess what? The field's level looks a little bit different too.
West Virginia did beat them in this building, but the students were out, so you didn't have that. It was the first conference game, which, okay, I mean, it counts, but this city, this state was ready for today. They're focused on tomorrow and the conference championship, but this is a pretty big deal. And these students were packed in here. And they were loud and they were cool. They're just fun. Like, I love watching it. I love experiencing it. I don't think I'm coming back, to be honest, but I said that last year. But then you see it on the schedule and you're like, all right, I'll go to that.
Dang. We just hit 1,000.
Yeah, we've been over 1,000 for a little bit. Thank you all so
Nice.
much.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
That's a regular
it's been
season.
fun.
Appreciate y'all, man. We need to have the same home support after every game. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? This is, man, that's a hell of a win. I can only imagine what they were like in the locker room.
I think they were entertained. I think they were happy. That's what I'm going to say.
I think they were quiet.
You think they were quiet? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the times. Of course, it goes without saying, but I mean, these are the types of games that win you conference titles. But the reason why I say that is because this game had every reason to be lost. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, thinking that we had no business winning that game.
A couple times. I mean, teams that miss 8 free throws in a row don't win games on the road. You were within 4 points at the end of the half, and you had the ball. You could have gotten it within 2. You could have, and then you give the ball up. They go down, and I think it was Milos got an and one, and all of a sudden it's a 7-point lead, and then Kansas goes on a run in the second half, and then U of H does, and you lost this game like 10 times. But you won at 11.
When you just keep going, man. Next play mentality. And you can only imagine what it was like for the kids who play for Kansas. Like, damn, these dudes don't quit. It does something differently psychologically for you when you're the opposing team and the other team keeps making plays. And it's like all of a sudden these free throws, we don't lose at home. All of a sudden these free throws have a little more pressure on them because I don't want us to lose. It's like you start overthinking and then boom, it should just be happening. So like we rolling in, you know, guns blazing because we ain't got nothing to lose. We playing at Kansas, and we're still expecting to win. But it's like if we don't, ain't no shame in that, you know. So it's a different type of pressure, and it's just like I feel like they kind of folded. Let me not say kind of, they did, but yeah.
It's like like when in a boxing match, like Tyson Fury gets put on. Tyson Fury gets put on his back, and then he gets up. Next thing you know, he keeps going and keeps going. The next thing you know, the other fighter's on the ropes.
That was a great analogy.
Well, you don't know shit about boxing.
Okay. We just went from 1,050 to 400. Thanks.
You just never know what's going to happen, man. That's why, like, if you do your job, the other team is going to make mistakes. They're human too, you know? So it's human nature. Sometimes it gets the best of all of us, but I'm glad they got the best of like, I heard somebody, what the fuck is rock chalk? I just think of a green board and a chalk piece, and like, what is rock chalk?
So I don't know if it was the bathroom or the wall. There's somewhere that explained what that meant. And there was a professor 130 years ago that came up with that. And they have stuff. I mean, this place is pretty cool. The concourses have all these different facts and things, and they flaunt their history. They do it the right way. And I encourage every U of H fan, you need to make this trip. I mean, it's a difficult place to sit in because nothing has a chair back in it. And I've been sitting on this fucking wood bench for 5 hours now, and I'm gonna probably sleep in my rental car. But you need to come to this and see this history and this tradition and this awesome atmosphere. And then see your team win, maybe.
Yeah, definitely an awesome atmosphere for sure.
When you get out of playing, I'm going to bring you. We're going to come back, and we're going to do this, me and you. Yeah.
I might. The funny thing is, you might try to bring me back, and I'm going to be on staff. So I'm already be there.
You can sit with me, though. Yeah.
You never know.
That's fine. Thank you, Houston Cougars Germany, for I don't even know. What do you call that?
Euro.
Well, no, but what is the payment called, Brad?
Huh?
Euro?
I don't know.
A euro.
No. The way they're doing it through YouTube. That's what I'm saying. Super chat or whatever.
Sticker.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know. They used to chalk up their hands.
Hit the super chat, man. Hit the super chat.
The Utah Players vlog had some good shots of UH history and Fertitta, but that is one little spot. This is like the entire bottom concourse and half of the top concourse. I mean, they have more of it. They got a lot of it, but they do it right. It's Lauren Sampson and I have talked about this, about doing something bigger in Fertitta with your history, because there's a lot of it. And they obviously want to focus on the history since Kelvin got there, and that's perfectly fine. They should, because that's what recruits are going to see and fans, and they should. You need to watch out, Jack. Louisiana boys don't get out much. We're fine. There was not one Houston player, that quit when they could have thrown in the towel many times. Tough.
That word doesn't exist here.
Tough?
No.
Quit. Got it. I'm slow. I was really kind of disappointed in that Utah Players vlog. Like, I thought it was going to be really cool and really good, but I mean, what do you do a vlog on when you get your ass whooped by 100 points? I mean, turns out.
Yeah, he had all that. He got back home and he's like, well, that didn't go quite as well as what we planned.
They need to immediately do that at the football stadium as well. They're doing this, I believe what they told us in the tour of the new facility, they're putting it in the new football operations center. Now, I agree. It needs to be in the stadium too. You need to celebrate that shit everywhere you can. And not put it in a big room where the sun comes and bleaches everything like they did at the athletics facility. But you've got an AD now who gets it. And I'm going to tell you, I am so impressed. The more time I spend with Eddie, and I talk to him at every game, like he is the most agreeable, come talk with you guy. He was here tonight. He said this is his first time he's ever been to a game here.
Wow.
And he was like, where are you sitting? And I showed him and I was like, and he went, damn. So
good luck
all
on
right.
your walk.
Yep. He was
Don't
in
you
the
go
second row.
dying on me now.
Yeah. I have
Yeah,
not
so
seen
we-
any sights since I've been here. I flew in this morning. I went straight to the hotel. I got up at 3:30 this morning. And so I went straight to the hotel and took a little nap and then came to the building here. So I haven't seen anything. I haven't eaten anything. And now it's 9:45, 9:40 at night. I don't know what's going to be open in Lawrence. So might just miss out and then leaving tomorrow, getting out
Well, I mean,
before
you know what's open.
football game.
You just don't know if you're ready for the Fight Club.
Well, it's 40 miles away. You have to go basically back to the airport to get Waffle House.
Are you serious?
Yeah, well, it's a freeway. They put those on freeways. They don't put it in little. That's why there's not one in College Station.
It's not a real town. No, they don't have it in College Station because that would just be a 24/7 brawl.
Yeah, that'd be it.
No, it would be just billions of dollars. Those people would live there.
Oh, true.
God, that would be such a. I mean, I could retire with the Waffle House in College
Well,
Station.
they could probably make even more money just to do a pay-per-view for all the brawls. So I mean, if you go to Waffle House enough, you got to throw.
Son.
Galen, how do you think that loss will affect Kansas? It seems like after we take a team's soul, they struggle for a few games afterwards.
I don't know if that's the case with Kansas because they obviously have it's a great pedigree. So it's kind of like us after a loss, we'll have a loss and then we'll kind of regroup. And I feel like their coach has a similar mindset. He's used to winning culture. So I don't know if that applies to Kansas. There's an exception to every rule, and they happen to be an exception. So it might, in a weird way, it kind of might. It's kind of like how the early overtime games kind of helped us grow. This game will probably do the same for them because they might see that areas that they may have struggled in that they thought they were strong. It turns out that they weren't, and so they might see that on film when you're playing against a team that's not going to quit, that's going to play tough. So this game probably is going to end up helping them more than it's going to hurt them for sure.
Okay, I think I would prefer to get that help from a win than a loss, but that's just me.
I hope they.
But it's like whenever you win and you learn, it doesn't have that like when you lose, it's like fuck, like nothing hits the same after a loss. When we didn't do this shit, but we still won, that's still kind of in the back of your head.
I mean, sometimes a pat on the back is will kind of get your attention. You get smacked in the mouth, that'll get your attention.
Yeah, that'll get everybody's attention. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, you make the place seem like a crap hole. Wood benches. Do they have AC? Yes, but it was not on tonight. This place, I was sweating through my hoodie. And, I mean, it's fine now, but, it's an old building. They're renovating it. They put screens in, big screens in behind me, but it's happening. Whatever.
I mean, let's put it this way. If it didn't have the history that it has,
It'd
people
just
would
be
consider
Havant.
it just a giant dump.
I talked with Eddie about this about old arenas, and he mentioned a couple, and I said the PMAC at LSU, and he's like, yeah, we just put a lot of lipstick on that one. And it's a dump. It's a total dump. But
Mhm.
it's like, Hoffines was a dump, but it was our dump. We didn't really know how bad it was. So you got Fertitta and you're like, oh shit, that was really terrible. But this place is, I think, I mean, this place is awesome. There's
It's
nothing
history.
yeah. Well, it's even the environment that they produce here is great.
Right.
And I mean, it's so worth coming to. And tonight, for the U of H fans that were here, and there were not many, but they got a memory that they're never, ever going to forget.
I need to take a pause for the calls.
Okay. Well, we're just going to get rid of him for now. We don't even need him. Galen, what
They said,
do you do on a day after a day like this? You're going to practice. You got to watch a little film, right? How do you put it behind you immediately? I mean, obviously they're going to party on the plane.
yeah. Well, it's like you got to know that Coach Sampson, he wanted this one real bad. So it was probably a little, I don't want to say tense, but it's no secret that our guys, they knew they were playing Kansas. So it was kind of, that energy was probably permeating through the entire team. But, you go out on the road, you win one like this. Everybody's in a good mood. And like you said, it's in a game like this with our team and our DNA, it's better to learn from it when you can learn from winning this game, because everybody, they remember the moments when they probably felt like it was all over. And it's like they know what lies ahead as well. So I think that that our coaches and our players, they're pleased, but I don't think they're satisfied. They know what lies ahead, and they got a tough one in a good team at West Virginia on the road. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna celebrate this one, but y'all got somebody else want to whoop y'all ass too. So it's like the enjoyment.
But how, as a player, do you get to that point where you're able to turn that page? I know they beat it into you,
Yeah.
but there has to be a little bit of a player that's like, I just want to kind of enjoy this for another day.
I mean, yeah, but that's not the Big 12. So,
right. Well, I agree with you. But I mean,
yeah,
they're going to get their little pats on their ass for 2, 3, 4 days.
Yeah.
Over this
you're
one.
gonna feel good, and your confidence is gonna be high, and that's probably gonna help you with your next opponent. But you don't want to win at Fog Allen and then lose at West Virginia.
Correct.
So it's like like we have a mature group, we have great leadership from coaches to the managers. So you don't want to, you kind of want to keep the good times rolling. And I feel like just because we have a mature group of guys that they understand what's at stake, they understand how much they can create separation with winning. So yeah, I think that our approach doesn't change, and I think that because we beat West Virginia, first, West Virginia is probably going to have some adjustments on top of being excited to play us because of the success we've, So it's like we got everything to lose. So the pressure's kind of on us, So we got to come in with the mindset of, just trying to be the tougher team and be the team that plays the hardest, and let the chips fall where they may.
West Virginia has come to Fertitta Center twice. UVA hasn't gone there, and they've gotten the shit kicked out of them twice. They're not going to be looking for just a good game. This is a big deal to them.
Yeah,
a lot of people are talking about the Badunga kid, Flory Badunga, who had 19 and 7. That this was not the same team after he fouled out, and that's fine. But whatever. Won the game. Don't foul.
Yeah. LTP, L2P. Learn to play.
Houston trailed for 31 minutes of regulation.
How crazy is that?
And their largest lead was 92-84 before Kansas made that shot with 18 seconds to play. Brad talked about this earlier. Kansas basically gave up after they made that shot. Did you see that in the second overtime?
Did I see it?
Yeah.
It's a game is full of trends of momentum. So like on top of we expected these guys to quit or to face that they were going to lose at the end of regulation, then it carries into overtime. Then it carries into a second overtime. So it's just like that was probably an example of human nature creeping in, because our guys they have no quit in them. They're going to fight until the buzzer sounds. So it's probably disheartening when you probably thought you had it in the bag. Being speaking for Kansas, when you thought you had a win in the bag, but I will say it's always good to be on the other side of human nature, our human nature versus theirs. So, hey, man, but yeah, you could definitely see that the body language, the momentum, the crowd, the groans that you heard in the crowd. Like granted, I was watching on TV, but it's like it's so loud, you can hear it. And it's just like the players feel it too. The coaching staff feel it too. Like they feel it all. So it's, yeah, like I said, I'm glad we're on the right side of human nature. For sure.
As a competitor, you always want to win. Everybody wants to win. Mm-hmm. But I think I would rather watch other teams lose than me winning. My enjoyment from winning comes from watching them lose, and especially watching them quit and their parents thinking
like taking themselves. Man, it's a great feeling.
Your enjoyment comes from their parents. What?
From their parents watching their child say, "Oh my God, my kid just quit. He's gonna need some ice cream or something."
That's a weird thing to find.
I love to see the pain of my opponents.
Brad Towns prefers to see your pain than his happiness. And I mean, who can argue with that?
He has a saying. He's like, losing feel worse than winning feels good.
Agree.
So like watching somebody lose is like, I beat your ass. Like, motherfucker. Like, man, it is a triumphant feeling, especially in that environment. I can't even imagine the motherfucks to the crowd in the student section. Boy, it's probably a lot of.
I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing when they quit on our floor.
It's one thing when
when you make them tap out on their own home floor and they're only 6 points down, and we just proved that 6 points can be made up in 17 seconds.
Especially when you got JoJo on the ball. You can't prepare for that. You got 8 feet just nangling like a damn, y'all know them like them little blow up things that's on the side of the road that like
whoa. Yeah.
Like you got one of them in front of you, he might get a deflection on accident.
Do that again.
No.
I look really good. It really did. Brad's looked terrible. Yours looked pretty fun.
Hey, man, everybody knows what I'm talking about, man.
One time.
Used car dealership.
That was funny, man.
Yeah.
Or Sweet D dancing from Always Sunny. Chad knows what I'm talking about.
It's good to be on the other side of human nature. It was weird. I've never seen a team just stop trying.
Just kind of like how we were dumbfounded. They were probably, like, bro, we was just up by 6 rounds up to 10. We was up by damn near 10 with less than 20 seconds left. What the fuck? What happened? Like, that has to be that film session is going to be sickening. My goodness. That is going to be sickening.
We don't kink shame Brad, but we do kink judge the shit out of you. If you're not judging this, that's fine. This is Brad's woman. Thelma, I think her name is. She's a nice lady. Yeah, this place is pretty cool.
I'm just wondering what these comments would look like if we weren't victorious. And I feel like I'd ask that same question against when we play UCF. And what do you think, Ryan? What do you think we'd be seeing a lot of if we didn't win?
Well, number one, I don't think we'd see you here. I think you would have just taken it easy after the game.
You know what? No. I posted a picture. Like, I would have stood on business for sure. Down
Okay.
for my dog. Yeah,
you would have been here just to fight.
Yeah. I would have stood on business for sure. But I posted that before early too. Like I showed up pregame with for sure.
So
it's a big game today.
I was reading the 2 message boards that we own, and people were talking about this team needs psychological training. Juwan sucks. LJ sucks. Emmanuel sucks. Malik's the best player on the team. I mean, people were kind of all over the place, but that's just what fans do, and they should. And 30 years ago, you could say those at a game, and 3 people would hear it, and nobody else would know. And now you just get to write it on the internet, and so we all know. It's fine. Good for them. The good thing is that everybody's on the same team now. Everybody's happy now.
My planned reaction, first reaction was we didn't lose that game. We gave it away.
Well,
because the free throws were that bad. Then all of a sudden, oh shit, we're back. Okay, never mind. Scratch that.
I don't know, because if you go in an environment like that and you have less than 10 turnovers, like that's hard to do in that level of competition. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody would say, "Shit, we struggle with free throws."
Well, I mean, I was looking at the numbers, and we weren't playing horribly defensively. We didn't have our 2 main scorers score like we thought, but Juwan was coming through. And I was like, I really don't see anything that we would change other than make a couple of free throws. I mean, the free throws if you lose by 5 or 6, I mean, free throws were the difference.
Yeah,
in that second half. But things changed. I didn't think they outplayed us for the most part.
Who has ever seen the fucking game?
I think we allowed them to get that lead on us. They weren't taking it.
In the second half, this is crazy. You shot 15 of 28, 54%. You shot 31% from the line. You had 1 turnover.
One turnover is crazy.
Crazy on the road. And
I don't think
you
people
caused
know how hard that is to do. Like
in the second half, Kansas made 9 shots. They turned it over 8 times at home in front of this many people.
I'm sure that U of H has these stats, but I would love to find out of how many touches Milos has had compared to turnovers. I mean, it's astronomically low.
Yeah.
You talking about like assist to turnover ratio or just
no? How many times he's touching the
touches.
ball
in his hand?
And how few times he's actually turning it over.
And they do have that with the stat tracker technology.
Right.
I don't know if they go and look at it, but they have it. But we'll find out. We'll see.
I mean, it's just.
Oh, Ron, this is a great question. What does it says? H-Town Big Dobbs. Do you see that one? One of the questions may have been Coach Sampson's stubbornness to keep playing the monster defense. That's interesting. So when you're a good defensive team, it's up to you to make the offense adjust to you. So Kansas probably devised a package that they probably don't run against anybody else because not everybody doubles the post on the catch. So they probably devise a special package for us. And it's like when you're a good defensive team, that it's your job to make teams adjust to you. You can't adjust to everybody you play. So you set the terms on the defensive end and then make them figure it out. And then if they keep figuring it out, then that's when you might want to make adjustments. But at the same time, it's like you got a kid, Hunter Dickinson. He's probably 7'2". It's like you can't really change much because our guys, from a height and weight standpoint, if they were to guard him one-on-one, they will be outmatched 10 times out of 10. So it's like that's not really something you can change when you're dealing with a guy that, he's probably in his 6th year like J1. He's seen it all, done it all. He's, whatever. So great player. So it's like much can probably rattle him, just like not much can rattle our experienced guys. So it's like you kind of got to live with your game plan and got to die with it.
I do agree. Dickinson was beating that monster trap quite a bit, but hard to guard Dickinson one-on-one. I mean,
can't. He's a mountain of a man. J1 is 6'7". Fucking JoJo and Big J Francis, they both 6'8", but they're just 8 foot this way. But when you're got a guy that's 7 foot, 260, 270, shoulder in your chest, there's no length can save you. You need help.
It's definitely a pick your poison scenario that you want to get the ball out of his hands.
For sure.
And you would take your chances on somebody else shooting it in a good position than him shooting it for the blocks.
For sure. Yeah. 100%.
And you have better odds of picking off. It's not that you want to stop the monster in the post. What you want to be able to do is to make adjustments on the backside and where you're covering and who you're covering, and maybe give them different looks in that direction.
Yeah. And it's like the more decisions that you force a team to make, the more likely they are to make a mistake. So it's
make teams make decisions.
One-on-one, man, that might have ended terribly for us because he's so comfortable with the ball in his hands. He's so comfortable with having an advantage. So it's like you don't want to play into his wheelhouse. Let somebody else make a play.
See, it's like what they were like. Teams who are smart are going to try to give us some sort of press to be able to slow us down getting into our offense. You've got to make people change what they want to do.
They're accustomed to doing, yeah, for sure.
I mean, Kansas wants Dickinson to be able to just kind of turn around at those little hop hook. I can't call it a jump because he jumps like me.
Yeah. But it's like he has such great timing, great feel. Even if it was a 7-footer guarding him, he'd still have his way because he has so much experience. He's so big, he's so strong. It's like once he gets the ball on that right block and he's going over his right shoulder, left hook, that's money in the bank. He did that 500,000 times. He been 7 foot for a long time. You just stumble into that. So it's like you got to take people out of their comfort zone.
On KP, Usain has a 12.6% turnover rate. That's not what Brad's saying. He's saying how many times he actually touches the ball. He can touch the ball 4 times in a possession. Am I right, Brad?
That's what I'm.
You're saying how many times he physically touches the ball versus how many times he turns it over. That's much less than 12.6%. Is what Brad's trying to get at. Ryan, I'm always curious about the logistics of this show. How did they let you stay in the building 2 hours after the game?
I got this, Ryan. Because Ryan is that guy. He's that dude. He with the fucking GoCoogs. We run shit. That's why. I made a call to security.
Timothy Monceaux.
That's the top of the building.
Man. I made a call to security. Hey, y'all better let Ryan stay fucking extra or it's going to be a problem. Ryan is him.
That's the top of the building. That's the rest of the building.
Ryan,
no one's coming up here to fuck with me.
Ryan, your camera angle is probably more blurry than your vision. That
like he's
shit
fucking
was-
streaming Minecraft.
Man, that shit was
First
so
off,
blurry,
fuck
brother.
all of y'all. Okay, well, the internet, they turned the internet off on me, so maybe that was their plan the whole time. I'm way the fuck up here, and no one's come to tell me to leave. But the Kansas radio show is actually still going on.
Ain't nobody
So-
want to walk all the way up to you.
No,
Right.
they'll just turn the lights off
That's-
eventually.
that's a loss.
So the Kansas
well,
radio
what is-
show is happening courtside, and
Mm.
this is the arena. This is where I'm sitting. I'm far.
That's a nice pick.
So, yeah. I mean, there's
Hold
some
on,
pretty
hold on,
damn good
Ryan.
arenas.
Ryan, UH Coug Nation 92 had a good comment.
Okay.
Who's in 9 assists, 0 turnovers tonight. Last year, shared struggled big time at Kansas. Well, it's always good to be able to learn from someone
Yes.
else's mistakes, and I guarantee that they probably showed that film, and it's just like a kind of when you can say that your demise was turning the ball over, it's going to make you extra cautious as a point guard, let alone when you're playing in that environment. You're going to be a little more cautious with the ball. You're going to be a lot more safe because you know that what turnovers can lead to. So it's like, yeah, that happened, but to Jamal's, to his whatever, it's like, well, he was the first one that had to go in that environment and kind of figure it out. Whereas, like Milos, he had the Chichi. Granted, he studied that motherfucker. He studied it for sure, ins and outs. But yeah, it's tough being the first guy.
When last year, that whole team walked into an environment they've never seen before.
Yeah,
Nothing,
it's like if you see-
nothing
if you see
near
Jamal-
that scale.
You
If
could
see
tell.
Jamal
You could tell.
discombobulated- My bad. But it's like if you see Jamal discombobulated, it's over. Everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like that's our balance. So
We have
Boy.
almost 1,200 people watching this, but I am
take our ass
happy
to
as-
substantial.com right now. New drop coming soon. Sorry, Ryan.
Okay, one second on that. I am happiest about the 2 people watching on Facebook. Thank y'all so much.
Shout out.
1167
killing it.
elsewhere. Yeah.
Are you able to see them, Ryan, or no?
What do you mean see them?
Like see who they are, like their names?
No, I have no clue.
Oh damn!
Uh,
Shout out to y'all.
I do.
Message
Yeah,
me
it's
if you're
probably
watching.
my mother.
I got something for you.
One of them just left. Sorry. All right, my bad. Okay. Galen, I forgot. Oh, what's your drop going to be?
That's
Do
what
you have
gotta-
this? Plan?
You got
Okay.
to head to the website.
Get on the
subscribe.
list. Get on the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, get on the list, man. We're gonna let you know. Current shipment, currently in transit. So yeah, it's gonna be nice. Star Pizza. Where's my?
It's just hard being a white guy, you know.
I didn't
See,
bubble
after
them.
that, I think the best thing that post Star Pizza is the nap. It's perfect. It's as delicious as the pizza.
We ain't selling naps.
Butthead.
We sell a pizza.
You gotta subscribe and tap in, brother. You slipping, and you're getting left out, man. Ryan is him for sure.
Yeah, that's the best comment of the year so far. No one's ever said that in my entire life, so we appreciate that. Yeah, you got to tap in.
Got to tap in.
Just
Tell them
kidding.
you got to tap the fuck in. It's a great day. Man.
One substantial. One substantial.
What's up, man? Go Cougs. He who never
Yeah.
doubted. You know what I'm saying? We just out here
He
kicking
who
shit.
never doubted. The guy
just
that
out here
turned the
kicking shit.
fucking TV off. Yeah. Yeah. Let's wrap this up so I can go back to my hotel room for an hour before I have to go to the airport.
Hey, at least it wasn't a 7 or 8 o'clock
Right.
game.
Shout out Big Jack, man.
Yeah. Ryan is him. There we go. Loving it. Putting this on my highlight reel, even though my screen's all blurry as shit, apparently. Brad, final thoughts, even though this is going to go on for 2 more hours, apparently.
Yes, true. Massive, massive win.
Substantial.
Take that sucker and
But
run
is
out of
it a
town.
substantial win?
Do what?
Okay. It's a substantial win.
For surely.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
But it's great to see contributors all over the place. Malik has turned out to be. I just absolutely love his story. That he is that's unfolding right now in front of us. It's just it's a storybook that I'm looking forward to watching how it all plays out. But this is a massive, massive win. This is something that I hope that they can take that puts a lot of any doubt that they might have had from the early season losses. That's by the wayside with coming up huge here, coming up big against Central Florida as well. This is how you win titles, and we're very well versed in that. And this team has finally hit that first real big test in conference. Now let's get some momentum and go in and do the exact same thing in West Virginia.
Thank you to the guy that's trying to sell naps and not pizza. Scott Doak did a $9.99 super sticker. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
When we find out where that money goes, we're going to be even more thankful.
Ryan's an idiot. I know exactly where it goes.
Okay. I don't. Kayla,
He's the worst
buddy.
bill collector ever.
I say that the games that we lost early, we had to lose those to win this one. And this was, these are the type of games that count. I'm just a big fan of whenever we have success from the guys we didn't expect it from. It kind of validates our program values that you never know whose night is going to be, and we can depend on all of our guys who play. So it really does make me feel good, the fact that Malik was able to contribute in the way that he was, because I know how hard he works. When I'm home in the summer, I see him in the gym all the time. Me and him, we have talks, and it's like he's the type of kid, he wants to do things the right way, and he wants to win above all. So it's just like, it's very, I don't know why I get such a rewarding feeling, him having success. But like I said, our program, we stand on work, we stand on extra reps, and we stand on just being prepared. And I feel like you never know where it may come from. So it's just like, it's kind of everybody has to be on that same level of being prepared. So I'm glad we were able to win this one. Granted, that was a hard place to win, but we got more dragons to slay coming soon. So on to the next one.
I agree. I think you did have to lose those games early to learn how to win. And then you did it at UCF last week. You did it here tonight. It all builds upon each other. And Kelvin has a saying that's really good, and there's never any periods in November. There's commas. There's never any periods in January either. There's commas, semicolon. This is not the end of the season. This is not the big win. This is a step, but it's a step that needed to be taken. At some point, you had to win one of these big quad one wins, and then get another and another. Getting these on the road. You have people already calling this the best game of the regular season of college basketball this year, and it very well could be. But until football starts tomorrow, this is the lead everywhere. I'm seeing that ESPN is already showing the replay of the game. Uh-oh.
Well, these games.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on, wait, y'all. Give me about 30 seconds.
I think back to when I was a kid. These are the games that you remember. Like, I can still remember Loyola Marymount and LSU. I can remember UNLV and LSU.
115-107.
Yeah,
think
I mean, just
132,
amazing
125.
classic games where just crazy stuff happens. Those stand out, and people watching, the casuals got a hell of a game.
This is one
For
I'm going to
us,
go back
it
and
was
watch
heart attack.
and just see the runs and the crazy shit that happened. It's just, I think this is going to stand up for quite a long time, as one of those kind of games. TI 779. Those were all separate. Sorry, kind of drunk. Good for you. Ryan C. at West Virginia. Yes, you will. And Ryan is him.
Oh, I no longer have my wings.
What do you mean? I
My
see him.
wings are gone.
They're not. I guess you got it cut, but you're still him.
Well, yeah, but I don't. It's wingless. It'll take another few months to get back.
Boy, we've been doing this for an hour and 45 minutes. I hadn't even noticed.
Hey, Ryan, what is Huggies doing right now? Is he like selling
Drinking?
Yeah.
Hopefully,
He's 70 years old. I think he still wants another taste, but I don't know. I don't think he's doing anything. I don't think he's on TV anywhere.
He should.
So
yeah. He should do what Nick Saban is doing. He was respected in this game for sure, regardless of what may have transpired. I think, in my personal opinion. So, man, that's crazy.
His on court for sure, 100%. I was there tonight. One of the top 5 games in Allen Fieldhouse. Does Towns ever leave the house? Yes, he went to Star Pizza yesterday, and then he went and got a nap, apparently. So I am so happy with how this went. Thank you, Galen. Thank you, Brad. Thank you.
I don't even want this shit to end. Like, I'm like, man, let's start the party. Not everybody slept 3 hours last night, Ryan. Shit.
Yeah, or sitting on
guys
a wood bench. No, you can't. God, I'm so fucking tired.
Nice little water blue.
What the hell is that in the middle?
What? It's a bench.
It looked like
I'm sitting on a fucking wood bench.
It looked like some kind of like a knife sticking out of that thing.
I don't know. There's some weird shit here. It's old. But
older
yeah,
than story. A birthplace for weird.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna have some stuff on GoCoogs.com at some point. I feel like we've seen enough. What time's the flight? I think it's at noon, but it is direct. It's from Kansas City. I'm not leaving Lawrence.
Scott's a curious motherfucker, man.
Shout out Scott.
I like curious. I'm huge into that. Yeah, it's from Kansas City, which is 40 minutes away. So that's fine. I really don't do non-direct flights unless I'm going to Manhattan. Because you have to. Well, I take that back. I'm flying to Pittsburgh for West Virginia because to fly into Morgantown, there's one airline I think that flies in there, and I've never heard of it. And I don't fly things I've never heard of. Curious little fucker. I like it. Yeah. It's weird. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Star Pizza. Thank you, Galen and Brad. And
thank you, Ryan.
Substantial, just right in front of him.
Boom.
Go to that. Subscribe, man, so you can be in with the in crowd. New release coming soon.
New release coming soon. When you say soon, what do you mean?
Gotta subscribe.
Next week? Next month?
Gotta subscribe. Can't tell you, brother.
I'm trying to sell you some shit.
It'll be this year.
Yeah. 2025.
Yeah, 2025.
Damn, 2025. I didn't think I would live this long.
Me either. So
That's a good fucking win. God damn.
you're going to be
love it.
talking about this one for a long time.
Rightfully so.
Some of the others might fade at UT, Baylor. You know, some of those might fade. This will not.
No, they fade neither.
This will not fade.
You have to win those to appreciate this one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, in credit to Kansas, it's made even bigger because of what their history is. Because
100%.
these are not these don't happen often.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how long did Kelvin play in the Big 12 with OU and never beat them?
Yeah, for sure. Beating UT twice before they left still feels good. So
Right.
I saw a stat today that A&M has only won in Austin one time in 37 years.
Good Lord.
That's wild. 1987. One time.
I got to be honest with you, man. Beating UT in basketball, I mean, it's a step above beating Rice, but it's like, okay, cool.
It's like the name precedes.
They've had
their
some good years.
selection.
I don't know. Tom Penders had some good teams. Rick Barnes had some good teams. Shaka.
I mean, I can think of I like the
Terry.
Penders teams.
Those are fun to watch.
I guess they had a good year with KD.
Yeah,
but
that was in like 06.
I mean, how many
it's
times
been a
they
while.
have been? They haven't had anything sustained to where I give a shit about them.
The name and the production, they are not on the.
There's levels to this game, and they ain't on it.
That's fun. Still take that. Elite show guys, safe travels, Roy and Godfather. Appreciate that.
Because of you, Big Mac, I might get a Camaro, so I'm gonna need a good deal. If I'm
Camaro.
If I'm willing to switch from my beloved Mustang to a different type of vehicle. So,
are there a lot of brothers that drive a Camaro?
Yeah, you can say, but not a lot of brothers probably got them for Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? That's an elite. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, Big Mac, fuck with me, man. Fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, Robert Towns, I fuck with y'all, man. Y'all are some quality dudes. This is some good shit we got going.
Heck
We're
yeah.
gonna keep it going for sure. For sure.
And God, winning sure does make it better.
Hey, that shit feel good, don't it? Man, I wish I could have watched the game.
I'm just happy. I'm just excited for the things I didn't have to say.
Man, for sure. Man.
The Kansas radio team is now packing up, so I'm going to probably be the last person here.
You won.
Damn right. Why? Because I'm him.
On the road,
Brett.
Roy.
All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. Flying back tomorrow. Practice Monday. Team flies out Tuesday. I fly out Wednesday. We got a lot going on. We had a great interview with JV Air for you that we did Thursday. And then my super fancy camera, I don't know what I did, but I fucked it up and the file was corrupted. So you didn't get that. You also didn't get some great stuff from Kelvin about Don Chaney. They're retiring his number next Saturday. Way overdue. Dwight Davis, too. He's way overdue. But Don Chaney absolutely deserves that. And that's a really cool honor for him. Just an OG of U of H basketball. Another Louisiana guy, by the way, Baton Rouge there. The boot delivers.
On time, on target.
There you go. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. And we're going to end it right now. GoCoogs.com. Galen at One Substantial and Brad over at He Who Never Doubted. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. Good night.